Well, hello everyone, welcome to the Sepang International Circuit for round 2 of Season 4 of my F1 2012 career mode. I'm Lovespuds, and under the Malaysian heat, hot and humid as it usually is, the skies have clouded over. No, don't worry, it's not going to rain today, that's alright, there's no bullshit coming my way from the 0% chance of rain weather bug thingy-majig. So it's all good, it's just a bit cooler than it usually is. So, we have to qualify second, and I'm currently in fourth, so I had to go for another lap on another set of tyres, which I had an extra set because I went through Q1 on my prime tyres, so it gives me, even if I didn't do too well on this lap, I still would have just about been able to start another lap, I think. I don't know, usually I only get about 2 laps in anyway on these Q3 sessions. But whatever. I'm already speaking a load of waffle anyway, so yeah, it's one of those days. I've just finished work and I'm going to watch the British Grand Prix today. Yes, I'm actually sacrificing my sleep to watch someone win the British Grand Prix. I don't know who it's going to be. By the time this video is uploaded, everyone will know who's won, because of my bloody upload speed. But still, I can only speculate who's going to win. I only know the qualifying results and the revelations. Well, not revelations. The disqualification of the Resta as well. Yesterday with his weight discrepancy. So I just had a bit of a lock-up going around the last corner. Now, the third sector on this track is losing me a bit of time, but not enough to stop me from getting pole position. So 1:36.001, 2/10 ahead of Fernando Alonso, Schumacher, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Rosberg, Vettel, Maldonado, Webber, and then Perez finishing up the top 10. Where the flipping hell is my teammate? Well, he's starting 11th, and I have a very, very bad feeling about this season. So let's get this race underway. Again, not one of the most exciting races, but this streak won't last forever, I promise you that, especially when you get past Monaco. Spain I might be a bit slow on as well, but China and Bahrain I might be pretty strong there as well, just warning you. But I don't know, who knows, it could be raining at the next race. It's a possibility at China, but I'm usually quite strong in the first few races of the season, especially at tracks that have been on the calendar for a little while. Bahrain was something I had to get used to, but that was in F1 2010, so that wasn't too bad. But in 2010 it was the longer track, so it's a slightly different configuration, but got used to that. And I generally have a better setup these days anyway. Even if it is a slightly suspect setup, you know, you wouldn't usually go around with one wings, but never mind. So here we are, coming around to finish lap 1 almost, just one more corner, and I'm leading the train. Schumacher's about a second or 2 behind, as the AI being a bit slow on the first lap, they usually are. Alonso's lost 3rd place to Grosjean. Yeah, Alonso slipped back from 2nd down to 4th, I assume that's where he is. Seems to be eking out a bit of a gap, yet Alonso's in 4th. So we've got Spuds, Schumacher, Grosjean, and then Alonso. Almost a 2-second gap to Schumacher, who I expect is going to close the gap up a little bit by the time the DRS activation comes around. So yes, as I was saying, the British Grand Prix is today in about 3.5 hours time, roundabouts, and obviously by the time you see this video someone would have won it, and the race would have been over for like, I don't know, 3 hours. Oh, I hate my upload speed, it's terrible. But anyway, I was really disappointed to see Di Resta excluded from qualifying, because he had an amazing qualifying. Not Not up there with Bottas's qualifying the last time around in Canada, where he ended up in 3rd, but 5th for Di Resta was an amazing achievement for Force India that seems to be improving race by race. And I was really gutted to see that he had been excluded and probably starting at the back of the grid or even from the pit lane, because there was a weight discrepancy. It was underweight by 1.5 kilos. I don't know how the hell that happened. No idea. They said it was, the team said it was to do with a discrepancy with Di Resta's weight. Probably got the measurement wrong or something on the scales that they have. But there you go. Very, very unfortunate for his own home race. But hopefully if he starts from the pit lane, maybe he can tweak his setup. I mean, I assume that's what he would do. I don't know yet, but I assume that's what he would do. You start from the pit lane, you can do what Sebastian Vettel did in Abu Dhabi and move up the field. Because the Force India is pretty good on its tyres as well, so that's an opportunity to get back into the points possibly. But we'll see, we'll see. Obviously I'll talk about what happened in the race tomorrow or the next day, as I am trying to pump out these F1 videos a bit faster. I will be doing my Race 07 videos as usual. Got to record one yet, I suppose, but still, it is on the way still. Alonso and Ferrari, well, they seem to be getting worse and worse as each race after Spain. They have pretty much gone backwards. Alonso's race pace is good, yes, but the qualifying is getting worse and worse, and whatever upgrades they're bringing are seriously not working. But who knows what's happened in the race today? Vettel could have been crashed out by someone. Raikkonen might have got up there. Alonso might be on the bloody podium or something. Hamilton might have won the race. Who bloody knows? Well, of course you know when you're watching this video, because yeah, whatever. Oh, it's so weird. But whatever. But yeah, it's quite disheartening to see Ferrari go backwards, especially when Mercedes can't really keep up with Red Bull in race pace. Although who knows what's going to happen today? Only you know when you watch this video. Oh, it's so weird to talk about it, and it's actually already happened, but it hasn't yet. Oh man. I mean, unless, to be honest, I've got a bad feeling if Mercedes can't get on top of their tyre wear issues in the race and keep going backwards, Vettel keeps coming through to win the races, and Alonso and Raikkonen keep going backwards in their qualifying, then Vettel's just going to run away with this season. I'm sorry to say it, but it might be over before before we get to the final stages of the season if we're not careful. I really hope they can get back on it, and you know, at the very least Mercedes can actually challenge them. But trouble is with Vettel, he is still young, he's still learning pretty much, and he's just going to get stronger and stronger. Whether or not he has the best car is irrelevant, but he's learning all the time, he's still young. So he's going to get harder and harder to beat as the years go by. As much as Alonso is a very, very good driver, he just doesn't have the tools to make a championship happen. I mean, Alonso should have been a 4 times world champion by now if a bad strategy in Abu Dhabi in 2010 didn't wreck his championship chances, and in 2012 where Vettel came back to win with a stunning race at Brazil. So it's a bit unfortunate that he isn't a 4-time world champion and Vettel would only be a one-time world champion. Well, that would be a weird situation. Maybe in a parallel universe that's what's happened. But yeah, there we go. So, seeing as I have no idea what else is going on, because the race has happened, but it hasn't. McLaren have turned their attentions to 2014 a bit earlier than planned, now that they've realised that they are absolutely rubbish this season. They might as well turn their attentions to 2014, because there is no way they're going to win the Constructors, and there's also no way they're going to win the Drivers' Championship. So there we go. Hopefully, if they are turning their attentions to 2014, they can actually come out the gate fighting, as they already seem to have done half the work. As I run over the DRS sign, they already seem to have done half the work this season with the new aerodynamic package. I mean, there'll still be changes to next year's cars, as Schumacher dives out the outside. Gonna let him go.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to
Well, I'm gonna sort of let it go. I'm gonna cut back on him, try and get a good run out of here, which seems to have worked a little bit. Because now, I mean, it didn't quite work as I planned, but I got into a slipstream, and I'm gonna go around for the outside pass if I can do it. Give him enough room, and yes, looks like I've done it. That was lucky. And my engineer was happy about that, so that was all good. Got the lead back. That was a bit hairy. But yeah, I was going to say, McLaren have already pretty much done half the work because of their new aerodynamic designs. But obviously they've still got a little bit to do to the car anyway for next season, with the new rules, regulations, and probably a new car profile, to be honest. I don't know. I've got high hopes for McLaren next season. Let's hope they don't stuff it up again. There you go. Hopefully McLaren will finish higher than 6th this year, because that is quite embarrassing. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. And Kimi Raikkonen is on the Red Bull shortlist to replace Webber. Well, most people knew that anyway. They would love to have Kimi in the car, wouldn't see why not. But also they've got to think of their young driver program, which is basically Toro Rosso. With Ricciardo and Verne. I mean, it's a seat that everyone wants to be in. I wouldn't be surprised if Kimi did move over to there. But Lotus is a team that he's comfortable with. And the team love him. He loves the team. They pretty much let him do what he wants. If he went to Red Bull, would he necessarily be happy? Well, I suppose he would be happy if he had a good car and was winning races. But, I don't know, you'd have to see. We'll have to see. Red Bull might be in quite a different position when it comes to 2014 and 2015 with new engine regs. Who knows? I mean, they're both pretty much going to use Renault engines, I think. So it shouldn't make too much of a difference. I don't know. I'd like to see Lotus up the top there, mixing it with the big teams properly. The big four, basically. That would be amazing. But yeah, it's going to be a popular seat when Webber goes. We should probably find out who's going to fill that seat by the time Spa and Monza come around. I wouldn't be surprised. Whoa! No! Spun it out of there, didn't I? Luckily I got away with that. Doesn't look too bad for the pit phase either. I did have a pretty decent stop. No one got in my way. There's only one team behind me in the garage, so it's pretty rare that I'm going to be held up by waiting for someone else behind me. Looks like people are just stopping now, pretty much. Some people look like they're going to be on their way out soon. I think there's one on the way out, but I'm going to easily get past by the time they can get out there. Who's that? Where's Perez? So there you go. The order is changing a little bit. So yeah, it's back to where it pretty much was. Alonso's got back up the second. I haven't really been watching it, so whoops. Yeah. So not many real changes in this race today, to be honest.
to close the gap.
Alonso and Schumacher are having a little bit of a scrap. Grosjean's in there somewhere. Raikkonen's disappeared at the moment. And Jensen, well, Jensen is somewhere in the midfield. And I'm really beginning to think that this game is conspiring against me. Because how can Jensen Button, someone in this game who is considered a decent driver in a decent car, a car that won the Constructors' Championship in this game only a few seasons ago, like 2 seasons ago or something like that, when I was at Mercedes. How can he be doing almost as bad as Massa was last season? This is what... This is a bloody conspiracy, I tell you. I really hope this is like, you know, just an odd start to the season and that he's going to pick up. Because the car should be being upgraded as well. I mean, surely, and he's the #1 driver in the team. Why is he at the back? Well, not at the back, but out of the points. I have no idea what position he is in. Rosberg's managed to take 4th, or as I do a bit of a slide round the first corner. That would have lost me a second or 2, maybe. Well, a second, I expect, because Alonso is about 2.6 behind. He should have closed the gap up nicely. But the thing is about this track, I'm good in the first sector, I'm very fast in the first sector, especially in qualifying.
You might try and overtake if you make a mistake.
I mean, as you saw in my qualifying, I was 7/10 up in the first sector, mainly because I can open my DRS as I'm going around that huge, well, not huge bend, but large bend down to the right-hander, tight right-hander. Whereas the AI don't open their DRS until they're pretty much straight, so do have a bit of an advantage there. Second sector's not too bad, I'm okay on that, but it's the third sector that really gets me because I can never ever find my braking point. Sometimes I do on that first blindish, well, sort of blind corner. This corner, my braking point changes pretty much every lap. I am getting better at it, but I am sort of changing my braking point every time I go around there because I cannot find a fixed point that I can focus on. I mean, most of the time when I'm going around corners, I pick a point where I brake, like the 100-meter board or a sign or something on the sidelines that I use as a reference, just like most drivers do. Sometimes I'll brake early for this first corner as well. But just bear in mind that I do brake quite early for most corners because of my low downforce setup as well, so it's not because I'm being too cautious, it's because I know what's going to happen if I go in too fast. Literally no grip and sliding around a bit. So I'm pretty much braking that 100-meter boards as usual. And I've also changed my brake pressures as well from last season. I've gone up to the high setting rather than medium. So my brakes are a lot more sensitive than I realise sometimes as well. So in the races to come, or in this race, you might see that I brake a bit too early, just so I'm getting used to it, and lock-ups are more likely as well, so look out for them. But it should allow me to brake a bit later as well once I get used to it.
You're just ahead of Alonso. Push it. Don't let him catch you.
But overall, I'm actually not doing too bad. I'm quite impressed with my performance so far. Just to blow my own trumpet. But this car feels absolutely gorgeous. Especially with the setups I'm using. I'm using pretty much the same setup as last year that I had on Ferrari, but it seems to feel a lot better on this car. So, can't complain about that, to be honest. I've always wanted to drive this McLaren. So I'm happy where I am, and next season I will try out Lotus in my own spare time. So I said before in the last race, this will be my last season on this game for YouTube before 2013 comes out in September. Talking of F1 2013, you should hear some news in the middle of July, middle of July or towards the end of July, you'll start to see the first bits of news for the game. Been following Steve Hood, who is the creative director or head something or other, the bloke in charge of the F1 game, and he's actually a very nice guy. He pretty much reads all of his tweets that people send to him, does reply to pretty much all of them, unless sort of spam messages or something. I even sent him my montage, which he had a look at and said was cool. Said I would enjoy the AI in the next game. So that was nice. Seems a nice guy. Seems to be doing his best with what he can do. So yeah. Not that I forgive Codemasters for some of the shit that I have to put up with in this game, but you know, at least they're trying, which is the main thing. But yeah, you should hear some news on the next game in about a month's time, sort of 3 to 4 weeks time or something. I mean, last year we heard bits about this game well before then. I mean, the reason they are not announcing anything as much at the moment is because Grid 2 came out recently, and they don't want, you know, because it's being made by the same studio pretty much. You know, Codemasters. They don't want to have attention drawn away from one of their flagship games, Grid 2, which I'm never gonna buy. I'm never ever gonna buy that sodding game. I don't want to ruin my perceptions of the Grid game that I had when I played the first Grid. I loved the first Grid. It was absolutely amazing, and I think they've ruined it, in my view. And not having cockpit view was the icing on the cake, so never gonna buy that game ever. No way. I don't want to drift everywhere. That's not my style. If I want to do drifting, I'll pick a specific drifting event in something silly like Need for Speed or something. I don't want to do it in proper racing. But there you go, which is a shame because the game did actually look quite nice. And I did actually play a short demo of it in at Eurogamer, which was last September. Which I did actually enjoy, but I don't know. I'm never gonna buy it. I'm quite tempted by MotoGP 13. If anyone actually has that game and would like to let me know what it's like, how it plays, that would be wonderful. I'm still waiting a few days to see the reviews and see some gameplay footage on it before I make my purchase, if I do. So I don't want to invest in a game that, you know, regular motorbike fans, regular motorbike game fans don't like. I mean, because then I won't like it either if I feel it handles like shit. But then again, I don't really know because I haven't played a motorbike game for a good long time now. But either way, I will be continuing with my Racer 7 series. I might not be doing another series after the Formula Ford one before the end of July. Just because I got stuff coming up at the end of July that will mean that I'll be away from YouTube for anything up to a few months. Who knows, because I'm moving house, and it's going to be a bit of a dodgy situation where the internet's concerned. It might even be worse than I've got at the moment, so uploading videos might not be a valid thing to do. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not planning to be in that situation forever anyway, so don't worry, I will be coming back if I need to take a break. And if I do take a break, I hope I'm back by September or something. I by the time the next F1 game comes out. But it's going to be a bit irritating, to say the least. As I say, I'm going to do a proper video on that when the time comes, explaining what exactly is going on with my life at the moment, in a little sort of Love Spuds update. But there you go. So back to the race in hand. We are on the last lap. Actually set the fastest lap. I'm going to try and set the fastest lap on this last lap, because I think Schumacher took it away from me. It was about 3/10 faster. So Schumacher's 1.7 behind. I'm just going for the fastest lap now, just because I can. It's looking pretty good, but I don't know what my time is at the moment because it doesn't show it. So just coming around to the last corner now. It's been a pretty decent race. Made a couple of mistakes, yeah, but no serious ones. And I'm going to do a little bit of a celebration, a little bit of a wiggle, and take my second win of the season. 2 out of 2. We're on a pretty good streak actually. That must be about my 5th win in a row or something. From Abu Dhabi, America, Brazil, Australia, and now Malaysia.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's the double. Pole and the win.
I'm gonna Vettel this shit if I'm not careful. Oh well, whatever. I'm trying to win after all, aren't I? So can't help it. But I did set the fastest lap, which was almost a second faster than Schumacher's. Finished 2 seconds ahead of him by the end of that race. 25 lovely, gorgeous, wonderful points. And Jenson Button finishes 11th. Wow! You bastard. I hate you. I hate you so much. Don't do a Massa, for God's sake. I do need some points this season.
You're still first in the Drivers' Championship. You're doing an excellent job.
And there's Drivers' Championship. 50 points. To Schumacher's 33. And then Jensen in 13th. The first one without any points. Disappointing. Looks like the HRTs, Toro Rossos and Caterhams are the back markers. Williams, Sahara, Force India, Sauber, Malaysia. Malaysia doing pretty well. 14th and 15th. Yeah, doing alright. Not too bad. Red Bull still a midfield team pretty much. Sort of higher midfield, mixing it with Williams and Lotus. The Constructors' Championship looks like this. It's in this screen because I accidentally skipped it at the end of the race, but there you go, there's the Constructors so far. Mercedes ahead by only 7 points, so in all is not lost. But we'll see what happens in a few races to come. So yes, here we go, another celebration. We do love them celebration sequences. Repetitive goodness. But join me next time for round 3 in China, and I'll see you then.